Hi all, welcome to iStream presentation. iStream is an automated invoice processing application for ERP systems. Why putting time and effort to enter payments into an ERP system? Instead, just send a mail to iStream. It will capture the invoice and integrate into ERP automatically. iStream supports Oracle's NetSuite and Microsoft's Dynamics 365 for finance and operations products. Here is an iStream process of invoice integration. First, a user needs to email an invoice to email ID configured in iStream. Then iStream will capture the invoice and process it, using the stored invoice mapping templates. After invoice was processed, approval workflow will be kickstarted. Once approver approves, invoice will be integrated into ERP. iStream will provide the status of invoice integration. Then the user can validate the invoice and post the payments in the ERP system. iStream also provide the payment status of an invoice integrated into the application, an analytical dashboard of the integration. Now I'm going to show a demo on integrating invoice into a NetSuite. As a first step, I'm going to send an invoice to an email ID configured in iStream. Here I'm showing the invoice which I sent to an iStream email. Here an invoice number is 16179. Having a billing and shipping address as well. iStream will read all the fields that we need, like an item, description, quantity, rate and amount. iStream having the ability to choose the fields need to integrate and not into ERP systems. Now I'm logging into iStream application. Here is the analytical dashboard of the iStream, showing the total number of invoice processed, invoice approved, pending and rejected. Now I'm going to click on the invoice, My Process Invoices tab to see my process invoice. Here is my latest process invoice showing with iStream invoice name, time of creation with process invoice status. To view, I'm going to click on the Edit button at Action column. Now we can see the invoice which we sent in an email. The same invoice ID was integrated. Invoice date processed. The invoice number matches the same as the file. Invoice date processed the same as in the file.
The item description and invoice total matches correctly. Billing address matches, shipping address matches. Here the item ID was not processed because the item name not exactly same as the NetSuite item. So, in that case, we can look up the item and select the right one we need. Seems all the fields are matched. Now we can click on the Process button to initiate the workflow approval process. Now we can see the pending invoice for approval. Click on the Action button to see the approver for whom the workflow is assigned. Here we can see the approver name, status and date of workflow submitted. Now we are going to see about the approval process. Once the workflow was submitted by the user, an approver will get an email with approval link. Once we click on the link, it will redirect to the iStream application invoice approval page. Here we can see the invoice details and the source invoice file need to integrate. There is another way to come to this approval window by clicking Invoice and My Approval Invoices. Now I'm going to approve the invoice by adding the approval text. An user can view their invoice approval status by clicking Invoice and My Invoice Request. Now user can see the invoice submitted was approved. Now we are going to see the integration status of invoice into NetSuite. Invoice integration status will be available in admin and all approved invoice. This is the processed invoice status page. To get the real-time status, we need to click on the Get Status button. Now we can see the integrated and posted status are turned out to green, saying integration was successful. Now I will show you the payment integrated into NetSuite application. In Transaction Payables, enter bills and list. We can see our invoice integrated. Here we go, our invoice integrated into the system successfully. Now I'm going to make payment in NetSuite and check status of the payment in iStream application. Now I can see that the payment status that is paid in full. Now I can see Now we are going to see about the template maintenance of the different invoices. In Template and Create Template we can save new invoice formats. I'm going to show the View Template option that how the existing invoice format was saved. In Actions click on the Edit button. We can able to see the invoice fields mapped. Now I will show that how the fields get mapped to invoice file. As an example, I'm taking field vendor name. Here the iStream application will read invoice in order of block and lines. Next example, we can see the amount field from line fields of invoice. Here the amount field was mapped in block 1 of line 2. For next lines of items, iStream having the configuration of text extraction format as immediate below lines. Once the mapping completed, we can click on the Save button. Now we are going to see about the application connections. Connection will be available on admin and connection. Connection will show how the environment connectivity was made and where the file was get processed. Here the name is an environment name. Login ID and password be NetSuite ERP login credentials. Resolute URL is in service endpoint URL. FTP connection here used for to process the invoice files. In the connections itself we can download the key metadata from NetSuite like vendors, items, and subsidiaries. Now the metadata get imported. The imported metadata like vendors and items can be viewed from admin menu. Now we can see the vendors get imported from NetSuite. For items it was the same menu from admin. Items. Items will have the fields like item name and name specified for to store in iStream. Connection shows from which environment of NetSuite the items belongs to. Reference is the exact item from the NetSuite. To create new items or vendors we can click on New button. And we came to end of the session. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.